Hello everybody, hope you're doing fantastically well. We are here at Ellen Road and we are here to provide you with some more One Leeds content. I hope you're all doing fantastically well. As I've already said, I just want to make sure you're doing okay. Get your comments in the description below, like the video, subscribe if you are new, and we're here to talk about new signings. What do Leeds United need to do in January? I've said on my other video, which you might have caught the other day, that I think Leeds United need to get a couple of midfielders and a striker dependent on what happens with Patrick Bamford, because I think system-based, we don't have enough attackers that fit the Bamford role. Will Leeds United do anything there? I don't think so. I think they'll be reliant on Bamford coming back. But if Bamford, touch wood, is long-term, Leeds will have to do something in that department. But I think when you're looking realistically at what Leeds United need to do, it inspired me the other night talking on the debrief. If you haven't checked the debrief, go check it out with myself, KG and Brownie. We were looking at central midfielders and players that need to come in. There is absolutely no coincidence for me that Leeds United are where they are because of injuries, number one, but the threadbare nature of the midfield, which is just a colossal damage point right now for Leeds. Forshaw coming in, great, but that creative aspect of Leeds United's midfield, that advanced 8, that number 10, that cam has been missing since the championship with Samuel Saiz, and obviously consequently with Pablo Hernandez, who played on the right for a massive part of his Leeds United career. But overall, it's absolutely vital for me that Leeds getting a central midfielder. Now, a central midfielder for me who has been rumoured to come to Leeds United is doing so well in the championship. I've watched him several times. You guys know I'm a little bit of a Lothario when it comes to championship football. I do love it. I still watch it. I've got a lot of mates who support teams in the championship. I've actually been to a couple of games this year. I won't tell you what games because they've been dreadful. But listen, I've watched this individual play a couple of times now, and he fit the system. John Swift. We're talking about him several times. Summer's gone by. He, for me, is the perfect Leeds United signing. An absolute grafter, someone who's worked his way up in the football pyramid, someone who, for me, has the technical ability that would sort of replicate a Pablo Hernandez, a Samuel Saiz in tight pockets, someone who is not afraid to drive at the defence, someone who is happy to pick the ball up in uncomfortable situations, someone who, when there's a throw-in on the left, a throw-in on the right, will go and collect the ball, and then he'll recover the ball, he'll rotate. And I think that cycle is what Leeds are missing. He can be composed, but he can also be a complete threat. I think he can be mobilised in different positions. And, if Leeds are able to get a combination of someone like Calvin Phillips and John Swift in that midfield, it could be absolutely fantastic. It could be a match made in heaven. I really like John Swift, and I think he, for me, would be the perfect signing in January. I think it would be more than attainable. I think we'd be able to get him for a decent price as well. And look, he's the one for me. He is definitely the one. He's been someone who I've been stewing on for a while in terms of the room mill. I spoke about him a couple of years ago. But his willingness to learn, his improvement, something that we've seen throughout the years. I think there was some times when he'd go out of the game. There were a couple of times here when he wouldn't really turn up. But now there's a bit of an aggressive side to his game. There's a bit more of a physicality. I think he's built up in the summer as well, much like we saw Jack Harrison do when he came into the Premier League. But John Swift for me is someone who leads in terms of technicalities, technical capabilities, would really reap the rewards from. I think he's a really talented player. I think he's definitely someone Leeds could acquire, and his fitness record's very good as well, which I look at. His fitness record is very decent for Reading, so that is something that would play into this system. Now, how would he link up with the Rafinha at Bamford? Well, he'd do it very well. As I say, his technical ability in and around the edge of the D is very good. He slip balls in between the defenders. He can move out wide, cross the ball in extremely well. His dead ball, as we've all seen for years gone by, his dead ball capabilities have been very good. So overall, the bravery aspect, the confidence aspect in his game now, the swagger when he's playing, would be the perfect introduction to this Leeds side. I think Rafinha would benefit from it. I think Patrick Bamford would ultimately benefit from it. I think John Swift would be able to rotate as well on either side and through the middle. And it would give Leeds a whole new sort of part of this side. I think the big problem that we're seeing now with Rodrigo, and I think Bielsa's very stubborn in the fact that he wants Rodrigo to work in that 8. we've seen a massive gap between Calvin Phillips, who almost sits on the defender's toes, to Rodrigo, who essentially forms a shadow striker when he's in that role which we saw against Norwich. Someone who can break between the lines, which is what Leeds have been missing. So for me, that would be the signing I would go for in January. And I think we will bring one central midfielder in. I'm hoping we will bring one central midfielder in, but it is massively dependent on whether or not Leeds United are doing all right in January for me. I think the board might take a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction, but overall, Leeds' January signings haven't been perfect. But John Swift would be the one for me. If you had to make an ideal January signing, who would it be? Get it in the comment section below, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in a bit.